Pulse was the death knell of the first J-horror remake era. The remake of the understated J-horror classic Pulse was released on this date in 2006. In many ways, it signaled the end of the first era of fascination Western studios had with Asian horrors in the 21st century. The early 2000s saw Japanese horror grow in stature in the West. Films such as Ring, Dark Water, Audition, and even odd genre fare such as Battle Royale became hits thanks to the birth of DVD publishers such as Tartan, making them more readily available. Of course, this meant Hollywood would only do one thing and remake as many of them as possible. That started out fine. The Ring is a genuinely impressive translation of Hideo Nakata's original, and the American Dark Water does a fine job of selling the dramatic side of the original, even if it lacks its dread and atmosphere levels. Returns go weaker, and in just a few years, the J-horror remake era was essentially killed off by the underwhelming remake of one of J-horror's most sophisticated and haunting movies. No Pulse here. Pulse by Kyushi Kurosawa may not have reached the public awareness heights of an Audition or Ring, but it is just as important. It's a somber, methodical examination of the early internet and personal isolation where spirits of technology and folklore clash in a bleak yet beautiful place.
Who are you?
My friend Josh needed to see you. Why?
So let him in.
Let what in?
Slightest leak, the slightest hole. That's how.
The remake? Well, you can tell an early directive when remaking it was to do away with the ambiguity and subtext and instead just chalk it on the viewer up front and explain it in a condescendingly plain fashion. If the original is a thoughtful 4,000-word essay, the remake condenses that into a TikTok. One is a methodical and artful haunting, the other a hyperactive assortment of flashing images and ghost train jump scares. The job went to Jim Sanzero, who had yet to direct a feature film. Interestingly, his next project would be directing for the video game Killzone 3 in 2011. The remake starred Kristen Bell, Rick Gonzalez, Jan Somerhalder, and Jonathan Tucker, and whatever talent was there is wasted by the fudged script and incoherent goldfish brain style of the film. Of course, a remake never replaces the original, but when other J-horror greats got far more respectful remakes, this version of Pulse is just despair-inducing in a manner that ironically captures something of Kurosawa's movie.